do people who like DC stuff like Star Wars stuff? Because they're owned by the same people. Would it be betrayal? Would it be like the hierarchy or like the like a throne kind of deal? You know, like the king is Disney and the children is like Star Wars and Marvel, but DC guys are like, a different clan or a different whatever you want to call it, whatever they use in Game of Thrones, and like they just kind of like hate them for it.
Hello, everyone. We're the Continuity Crew. I'm Will.
I'm Peace.
That's Win. And today we've got an episode of the Continuity Crew Telecast where
Yo.
we are talking about Peacemaker, the latest DC show.
Installment.
I guess it's like the first one DC show that's actually connected to the DCEU. I mean, even though they did the multiverse stuff in The Flash.
And they're probably going to remove everything.
Yeah, well, we don't need to talk about that. It makes me upset. But Peacemaker picks up right after where Suicide Squad left off with Peacemaker, John Cena, and we've got a new task for John Cena. God, I'm trying to think what they're called. What Argus is that? That's Argus.
I don't fucking know.
I think Argus is the division with Amanda Waller, and they have another task for Peacemaker to do, and it's aliens. They're taking over people.
Yeah.
It's like Invasion of the Body Snatchers, kind of.
It is.
So I didn't even think about that till literally when I said it. But we go on this crazy adventure with Peacemaker and the crew, and we're gonna talk about what we thought of the show. Maybe I don't know about best episodes because honestly I don't really have one.
I don't either.
But we're just gonna talk about our thoughts on the show.
When it ended, that's the best one.
And I am a huge DC fan. Win is not so much. To some stuff he is.
Yeah, and to an extent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Win, go ahead. What do you think of Peacemaker overall?
It was kind of boring. I was bored watching it. I wasn't like, whoa. It was all like, this is John Cena now. Is he really doing this movie? Like, I don't know why, but John Cena just doesn't have that charisma for me. He just kind of reminds me of a dad.
Oh, I think that's
really
why it worked
bulked up dad.
for me in this. That's just kind of what he is. I think this role fits John Cena perfectly. I think it's very much, he does the Rock type move for roles where he's like, I'll take a role that I know will fit me. And this one just fit. It's a big beefy guy who's silly.
I feel like he could carry himself well, though. But he just doesn't have that same charisma as The Rock.
That's true.
Like, The Rock just has this, like personality to him. Like, John Cena is just, it feels like he's pretending all the time.
Yeah. It's like he's trying too hard to act.
Yeah.
Almost. And it kind of works in this, but it's also not good.
Yeah, no. Because, I watch him in interviews, and he's, uppy, and, he's really happy. But I feel like John Cena has, some dark shit that he just needs to let out. And
Probably
I think
does.
He should just do a role where
he played
really
a good guy in
dark.
WWE his entire career. So
Yeah.
I don't know, something about it. It's
Maybe
just,
that's why.
it's just what he is.
Yeah.
It is. Hey, he did get engaged and then broke it off and then got married 3-4 months later.
I watched him in Blockers.
Oh,
It was pretty all right.
that's a funny movie.
Yeah, I think he's really funny in that.
That's what I mean though. He just kind of takes these roles where he can be silly and stuff. We're never gonna get a good serious John Cena.
No, I don't think so.
I think this role kind of just fits him. It just kind of works. And the whole DC stuff, I like. Hopefully they're setting stuff up. Assuming
I think this is where DC belongs. Like the R-rated stuff.
I would agree.
They do such a good job, just kind of.
They have
carelessly,
fun with
make
it.
it fun, yeah.
And it's it's a lot like Deadpool in a sense.
Yeah.
I think Deadpool's better for sure, but
Yeah.
they have fun doing this R stuff. Even Joker was a serious movie, but it felt like it was fun in a sense of a fun filmmaking.
And it
I
felt
guess.
it's perfect for DC. It feels like it's right up there.
Mhm.
I know that they're dark. They're not as dark as before, but when you have characters like this, going dark is just so much better because they were made in the 20s, 30s,
Mhm.
and they were meant to be superhero hopeful. You're supposed to
Yeah.
look up to them and shit like that. But nowadays it's kind of goofy and silly. So what do? You make it serious,
Yeah.
and you make it dark. And I think this fits very well. Peacemaker is a goofy character, and I think this is fine the way they're doing this.
Yeah,
Making
I
him kind
think
of R-rated.
I think they should stick with that trend. I mean, like
Yeah.
look at like Suicide Squad last year, like the
Yeah.
20. It was fun. It was good. I mean, I think James Gunn. It sounds like he is sticking around with DC. Like he's got season 2 for this, and apparently he's got attached to another like unannounced thing. Like I hope it continues, but I do also hope we get more than just like Peacemaker or like the Suicide Squad. I need Batman stuff. I need Superman stuff. Like you don't have to keep it R per se, but like I mean, keep it dark, but don't go Zack Snyder dark. You know what I mean? Like have
slow motion.
Have fun with it. Have fun with
Yeah.
your darkness. I guess.
You know what? Yeah, I could see Batman doing that.
Yeah.
Like if they did that the same way they did Suicide Squad, made it fun but dark.
Yeah, like
I could see that being so
look
good.
at like the animated series with Kevin Conroy. Like there was some really dark episodes in there, and then there's like he's facing like I don't think Polka Dot Man he was in Brave and the Bold, I know that, but it's like he's facing these ridiculous characters where it's still fun though, but like you also have this dark stuff with like the Joker and Two-Face. It's just I hope DC continues with that.
I think DC needs to be where Invincible is.
Yes.
Where it's like goofy fun, but like it's like serious, dark, and like really violent.
Yeah, and like
that's a whole different genre for any other superhero movie.
Yeah, and it's like you could say, oh, it's too much like The Boys. The Boys already did that, but I feel like The Boys isn't as known as DC, and they could do it in a way that is a little bit different. Because The Boys, I would feel like, is the next step of dark. Yeah. They're still having fun with it, but like there's a middle ground that DC could take advantage of because they're still trying to set up their universe after what 10 years now, because Man of Steel was 2012.
Yeah,
God, that's crazy. Oh my God, oh, man.
Old, man,
that sucks. By the time they get everything set up, I'm gonna be like all the Star Wars fans, like with Book of Boba Fett. They're like, finally, we're getting something good. We're in a universe. Yes.
Yeah, I think they just need to relax with the whole universe set up.
Mhm.
Because like by the time the Batman comes out, it's like, oh, they're gonna reset it after.
Yeah,
so.
And it's weird. But Peacemaker as a show, it's funny. Did you think it was funny though?
Sometimes
I don't know. Everything made me laugh. Like everything about it was just so fun. It was catered to an audience, which is me, and it worked perfectly. And I think they did a great job catering to a specific audience. And
I like Eagly.
Eagly, yeah.
That's the only thing I liked about it.
Just Eagly?
Yeah, just Eagly.
Fair.
Yeah. I do. Okay, I will say, I just now remember this. John Cena, when he's with someone and he's telling like somewhat of a sad story, he actually does do a good job.
He's a good
He's
actor.
actually really good at that. But everything else, when he's like trying to be funny, it just doesn't work. I don't know why. It might be just like
I think
his voice.
Nothing on James Gunn, but I think it might be a direction thing. I just
or writing thing.
Or writing even. I think sometimes it gets too quirky.
Yeah, it does.
And it's funny. But it is too much sometimes.
Yeah.
Like some of his rants he goes on, and like some of the like lines he says, it's like, okay, come on, reel it in a bit, you know.
To me, like my favorite parts were like when he would go to the bar with Harcourt, yeah. When they would just talk and he would just like say something like short and sweet. It's like, yeah, I could see him actually.
Yeah,
be,
some
like,
of
this
it the like
character.
I like they made him like the depth they gave this character, which I wouldn't have expected. Like it was really cool to see. I like the character arcs we had in this show.
I think the biggest gripe I have with this, if just to kind of emphasize it, the big gripe that I have with this is that the character is supposed to be like this broken character, but to me, in the show, it already seems like he already knows what he wants and what he's doing. So to kind of just add that in there, where he's like a character development, where he's, my dad did this and I killed my brother, kind of thing. It feels like it's just inserted. It's just like,
that's
okay,
fair. I can see that.
Cool. I feel like any smart man would just think that way, where it's like it was an accident or it was like his dad's fault, and I don't think that whole broken or that whole like, that whole broken character thing doesn't really work for Peacemaker. Because it just seems so clear to me that like he already knows what he's doing and he already
Yeah.
knows what he wants to do. If they had like a direction where he's, Peacemaker killing everybody, and then people are like mad at him, and then like everyone is like doubting him even more than they already do now, it would have been clearer, and he would have probably seen that better, or he would have hated it. Either way,
I don't know.
there's not a lot of character development for me.
Fair. I think it is just a really fun show. I think it is maybe a step in the right direction. We'll see.
A little bit.
And I like all the references we had to stuff like Batmite or Kite Man and stuff. That was cool to see that. I mean, James Gunn would even post pictures of those characters from the comics, and then the caption would just be canon. So it's like he's adding these things in there, and it's just like it's funny to see that, and that's the way you kind of set up a universe. Like, look at that.
He is the perfect guy to set up this version of DC, where it's like dark and funny.
Yeah.
Like I think Zack Snyder, I think their take was like too much, and I think they realized that. And then when they added James Gunn, they're like, "This is the level. Or, this is the balance.
This is what we
need."
wanted."
Yeah.
And it just just speaking of references, and this is, I guess, a big spoiler. They have their big conclusion, their big fight, and then earlier on they talk about the Justice League. Why don't you send the Justice League? And then the Justice League does show up, which was super cool. Wynn might disagree, but we only really get to see Aquaman and Flash, because the other ones are just silhouettes, because who cares?
They're too expensive.
They're too expensive. And apparently Ezra shot his scenes on the set of Guardians 3, and Jason Momoa, I don't know, but
I can see that.
I do really like that we got them in there. And then now I think Ezra has been in more DC stuff than any of the other like League members.
Like Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I thought that was really cool. Aquaman said fuck, which was awesome. Seeing these characters we already have say fuck is just it's cool. It's because it's like, okay, lean into that. I mean, I don't think Aquaman 2 is going to be R, but like lean into the more gritty stuff. I don't know.
If anyone understands these characters, it's James Gunn. I hate to say it, but he's the only one who understands these characters. And he kind of clearly has like a vision for DC and where it could go. So
it's tough because I don't think Peacemaker will be referenced in it like the Flash or Aquaman that we have this year or anything. But it's tough because it's like he's such kind of a minor character, but they have seen him now, and I don't know, it's weird because it sets up a universe, but it also makes this feel small in a way, I guess.
Yeah, a little bit. This is popular with the fans. Peacemaker is the one that they deserve, I guess. Would you say?
I mean, I hope we see more Suicide Squad characters, because that movie was really good. I hope we get new characters. We'll have season 2 of Peacemaker, so that's cool. But Peacemaker, I'm excited for season 2.
I don't even know what the that's gonna look like.
I don't either.
I
hope they lean more into like the characters they mentioned, or just random DC like people. Like I thought
Kite Man was weird.
So I thought like whenever they mentioned Batmite, I thought the neighbor guy was gonna become Batmite at the end of the show, because he was just heckling like Peacemaker, and he was gonna become like Batmite or Mr. Mixelplex or something like that. I thought that was gonna be the big reveal for the last episode. Instead, we got the League, which was cool. But anyways, though,
it kind of makes sense to also like that whole world kind of thing, where it's like like, why don't we just call the bigger characters, and they're late? And I think that actually somewhat makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
I thought last episode, the stuff with the shield, I said this to you, I was like, that's what Captain America should be. As soon as he pulled out the shield, I was like, he's going to do some Captain America shit with that. And he did. And he like sent the shield through people. And I was like, that's fucking awesome.
He even took off the helmet.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is what Captain America does nowadays. He just takes off the helmet.
I saw something say like there was this is so off topic, but there's a cut scene that I'd never seen before from Age of Ultron, where Cap had his helmet off, and it's like he saw something and it was like, and then he like takes off, leave. I'm like, oh, that's cool. Why didn't they leave that in there? Who knows? Anyways, Peacemaker. Final thoughts, Win.
It's an alright of a show. It's a good direction. It's better than what we've gotten in the past few years. As a kind of like the DC fan, animated, like a fan of the animated stuff, I think that this is on the same balance as those animations. I just think they need a stronger character other than Peacemaker, and by stronger I mean like someone with charisma and can actually carry on the TV spotlight almost. It is better than the CW shit that we've had in the past few years. I fucking loved the first seasons of all of those, but I hated
It's
after
always
that.
just decline.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I bet the DC people are really jealous
did you
about
see
this.
the Grant Gustin? He's getting paid for the next season of The Flash. I think it was
200 grand.
I
Episode.
think an episode. That's absurd. Anyways, though, we'll get to our, I guess, final thoughts for me. It was a great step for DC. I thought it was funny. I enjoyed it, and I'm excited for season 2. Peacemaker, our final ratings, though, we do 2 ratings. We do critical and entertainment. 1 being the worst, 10 being the best. What's your critical rating?
Critically, I think this show deserves 6.5.
6.5. I can dig it.
Yeah. It's not bad. It's not great. It's, I think, a good direction, like I said. And I'm sick and tired of watching Arrow, so.
Yeah, yeah. I'm going to give it a 7 for my critical rating.
And Supergirl is kind of ass. Anyway.
Supergirl's so bad.
I fucking hated that show. She's like a preppy, like, fucking college teen. And I'm like, she's not like that in the comic books. And I hate to say it because I don't like the whole, like, oh, she's not like this in the comic books. But it's true.
I don't know. DC's such a weird take. The CW stuff, such a weird take on the characters. Like, they have good moments, but sometimes it's just like, why are we doing this?
Yeah.
And so now our entertainment rating. What do you say?
7.
7?
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah, it's good on you, James Gunn.
I'm gonna give it a 9.
Of course you are.
Because I thought it was funny.
He's a simp for DC stuff.
This is true. Anyways, though, that's our review for Peacemaker. I think it was better than Book of Boba Fett.
It is.
I forgot to mention that. But
it's kind of better than most of Star Wars movie stuff.
Yeah.
Or Star Wars in general.
I think it was better than some of the Marvel stuff. It's better than Hawkeye.
Fuck off.
It's better than WandaVision.
I don't know about that.
I think it was.
I don't know about that. Because they're not on the same level. He's not a superhero.
He's
a villain.
I'll take back WandaVision.
Peacemaker's a villain. He's not a superhero.
This is true. Anyways, though, thank you all for watching.
It's not better than Loki.
That's been definitely not. That's been our review for Peacemaker. We've been the Continuity Crew. I'm Will.
I'm Maker.
That's when. Thank you all for watching. Like if you enjoyed, comment down below, and subscribe if you want to see more reviews like this. We'll see you on the next one. We love movies, and we love y'all. Adios.
Is he like genetically enhanced? I'm confused.
No, he's just jacked because he loves peace so much.